Welcome, I'm Alexander Zurek and this is my channel on which I do some pyrography. And usually I speed up the process. I put it on 4 times speed so you can see the process without seeing how long it takes. But today I thought it would be prudent to show it in original speed, just because I made a mistake by doing this. And this mistake is really time based because I rushed it. I use pine here. It's a piece of a wardrobe. I used the German basically equivalent to Craigslist and found free wood, and that's of course not the best quality, but I think it's better that I get it than that people would just throw it away. So yeah, I got a bunch of pine wood, and I really dislike pine, but it's easy to get. It looks nice, but it's terrible to work with, especially in pyrography. Well, I'm not really sure if that's quite right. Whittling with it is also quite terrible, and pyrography seems to work a little bit better. Yeah, the reason for that is that pine has 2 kinds of fibers that are alternating. The one is quite strong, the other is quite weak, and the weak one burns really well, and the strong one is pretty resistant, so you have really an uneven pattern, which is the problem I had here. I put my burning station on, I think it was about 400 or 500, which is quite high. I think it goes up to 800. There is no real unit for it because, well, it's not degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit or Newton, not Newton, or Kelvin. It's probably the wattage of the machine, and yeah, it still gives you a good gauge on how hot something is, on how hot the machine is, so you can use it for the same wood. Yeah, and I put it on a high temperature to get this stronger line, but it makes this uneven field, especially when you rush it. And I know it looks slow, it feels really slow. While I worked on this hard, I had the feeling I was working on it for over an hour. And when I checked later, the whole process was less than half an hour. And that explains quite well why the lines are so uneven, as you can see they will be here. And later I consulted a way better woodworker, not a way better woodworker per se, but a way better pyrographer in any case. Kara Banga, I will put her Instagram in the description. And from the talk with her, I judged that I probably was too fast here, because yes, this, what you can see here, is quite rushed. It looks slow, it feels slow, it's rushed. But you can actually get a way better result when you use a lower temperature and go really slow, which I didn't do here. So the motive here, as you can see, I try a little bit of freeform, freehand drawing. Nothing I drew on the wood before, because I don't really like doing that, and I do it more abstract filling here with some curves, just going in the heart and making a sort of labyrinth thingy. More like, not like a real labyrinth, but like the labyrinths we often see for the Minotaur on Minos. And of course that's a really classic labyrinth, but it's only one path and it's just a really long way, not a difficult way. There I dodge a knot in the wood before going back, yeah. Because the knots are, well, always a little bit harder to draw on. And with a little bit I mean a lot of it. Karabanga is someone who, she says she's not better than me at Pyrography, but she really is. And why I ask her specifically is she learned on Pine and she still uses Pine and it looks really good with her drawings. So yeah, she's an expert on working on this poor material. I think beach is something that's recommended, I'm not sure. There are basswood. Basswood is of course recommended. Basswood is a wood that is recommended basically always when doing some art with wood. For whittling, for beginners, it's good. And well, for pyrography too. Another good wood for beginners is... Sorry, I blanked on the English word. Is poplar. And I use poplar for many of my whittlings just because I have many poplar trees here in Berlin and they quite often leave me some branches here. And that's quite nice of those trees. And I accept those gifts. If you want to see what I whittle, I don't yet plan on posting whittling videos on YouTube, but I show the results on my Instagram, which should be also in the description. There you can see that I am struggling with the texture of the wood. And yeah, I have this thin line that now suddenly is a really thick line. And after I finished the whole thing, I thought about just going back and going low and steady over the whole thing to, well, make the lines better. But I decided against it because after I finished, I declared it finished. Not perfect, but finished, and I want to stay with it. Because when doing art, you have to accept that your work is not perfect, especially when you are just a beginner. And I struggle with it quite a lot, because I'm pretty sure for most people it will be obvious that you have to accept you're not perfect, but I struggle with it. I of course rationally know that I'm not, but it's always hard to see that my work just is not on the level I would want it to be. There's another mistake I do with this. I use my pin that's good for drawing. I don't know if the tips have different specific names, but yeah, it's basically like the burning tip equivalent to a pen. And I should adjust the angle a little bit because then I would have more clear lines too. This is another reason why it's probably good that I go over the whole process right now and check it, even if I don't have to say something about everything. just so I see the problem myself here. Also sorry for the chair creaking all the time. I thought about maybe just setting aside some tales I could tell you while doing that. In this case I would have thought about something that would talk about patience and love, because it's a hard and I messed up with not being patient here. And maybe a retelling of Romeo and Juliet or the stories it's based on. Because in the end we had a little patience problem with them, right? Of course I would have to reread it, but I probably would not read the Shakespeare version, but the Ovid version in Metamorphosis. This abstract filling is somewhat inspired by my Zentangles, and if you saw the last video, you know that I do Zentangles and what Zentangles are, but they are a basically meditative kind of drawing that also brings you abstract drawings, and before I probably wouldn't have really tried to do something like that. But yeah, I think it was quite okay here. And yeah, that's basically when I finished the drawing, and I'm pretty sure I will now shade. And for this shading I will turn to 4 times speed, because I didn't make the same mistake here. So to make it a little bit more interesting, I wanted to make the border a little bit thicker. I wanted to basically give the heart an aura, and I do many shading strokes here on the outside of the heart. And you see the difference probably now that it's sped up a little bit. Well, ironically, the part that I now show is the fast part that worked better, because it's okay to be fast in this specific case. Just for the detail work I really have to take the time. And that's basically the lesson of this video. I don't know if you need this lesson, but that's something this channel could be about. I'm not quite sure what it is about, but for me it's a learning process that I publish on YouTube and can basically look back on later. And yeah, maybe you can learn with me. For the outside, there you could see me just wait until the tip heats up, because my burning station is quite good. Of course I don't really have that much to compare to. I had this burning station and something that's basically soldering iron that has a few more tips for wood burning. Yeah. But those wire tips are, in my eyes, way better, and they heat up quite fast, but still need a few seconds. And yeah, I wanted to use this wider tip for this, well, more glowing aura for the heart. I think that worked out okay. I suspect I could have been a little bit less careful about the heat in this specific case, and I just turned it up a little bit. When you see me grabbing to the left, I probably turn the dial on the machine. And after the last time, you can see that now the first bit of the stroke is always a little bit darker. Yeah, now it's just a few touch-ups and then I'm done. Okay, I hope this video was to your liking, and I will see you in the next video. Remember, don't rush, slow can be fast, and better quality.